Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I want to start a series that is a deep dive into Plethon's theology. In today's video, I want to take a deep dive into his Pantheon. Now, I know some of you probably have a bunch of questions and concerns about it, so I'm going to do my best to explain it. Firstly, Plethon was a Neoplatonist. Now, Plato believed that God wasn't an actual deity, but a first principle and the source of all good. So Plethon took that one step further and gave it a name. He calls this god Zeus. Now, one of the reasons why he calls this god Zeus is because traditionally in ancient Greece, they called Zeus the king of gods and man. So that's probably how he got his idea from. So going into the Olympians, Plethon wrote that it was Poseidon and Hera that are the king and queen of the Olympians, and that Poseidon is the idea of form and Hera is the idea of matter. Now, according to Plethon, he believed that the male deity is more active and more assorted with form, and the female deity energy was more passive and more have to do with matter. So that's how he explains the male and female energies when it comes to the deities. So right after Poseidon and Hera, they have children. Of course, the gods can't have children, so it's more of a metaphor than a realistic thing. Going down the chain, you'll have Apollo, who is the idea of identity, and Artemis, who is the idea of difference. She helps with our courage and self-control. Then you have Hephaestus. He's the idea of rest. He keeps us steadfast in the path of virtue and excellence. Then you have Dionysus. He's the idea of self-motion, which basically means he helps our souls to be more perfect, and he motivates us to do good. Athena is the idea of passive or other cause motion. So what I understand is basically she protects us and helps us to reach our spiritual goal, which basically that's what she is in traditional sense. Athena's job, per se, is to make us more like Dionysus. So in the Olympians, there are three triads of the Olympians. So here is the second triad of the Olympians. So just letting you know, Plethon lived in a time where everyone thought that the Earth was the center of the universe, and it wasn't discovered that the Earth wasn't. So this was a big part of his theology. Of course, he died before it was discovered. So just letting you know. Atlas is the idea of the central gods. The Thonus is the idea of the planetarian gods. Dione is the idea of the fixed stars. Hermes is the idea of the earthly demons. Basically, he's a divine messenger. Pluto, or Hades, is the idea of the immortal human soul. Then you go down the chain. Here are the goddesses of the elements. You have Rhea, the idea of the elements in general. Little, the idea of fire. Tethys is the idea of water. Hecate, the idea of air. And of course, Hestia is the idea of the earth. Now that is it for the Olympians. Now here are the Titans, which Plethon calls them the gods of Tartarus. Kronos is the idea of things that come to by and pass away in time. And then you have an interesting choice, which is Aphrodite, who is the idea of perishable matter. And Kronos and Aphrodite are a couple that basically gave birth to the Titans. Pan is the idea of animals. Demeter is the idea of plants. Then Kore, or Persephone, is the idea of the mortal human body. Of course, she and Hades creates humans, and they take care of us while we're being reincarnated. Lastly, they are the celestial gods, which are basically the planets. So Plethon writes that Poseidon created the first celestial god, Helios. And Helios and Selene are the king and queen of the celestial gods. So that is it. Hopefully, you're not too confused. I know it's a new theology to some people. I tried to explain the best I can. So thank you for listening to me. Please like and subscribe to my video, and I will see you next time. See ya.